Hey guys, see my shadow there. I'm out here in the winter tundra to talk about photography in cold weather conditions. First things first is you want to be able to just be comfortable in your hobbies. So dressing is probably one of the paramount things you should consider when venturing out into the cold. And the key to that is basically wearing layers. And what you want to do is, rather than wearing one thick jacket, I usually recommend layering. Have some type of a base layer. Water, moisture wicking, warm, synthetic, not cotton, since cotton kills. And basically what that means is when it gets wet, it's very hard to dry. Some type of a polypropylene, synthetic, type of an undergarment. I have some Under Armour brand long johns and a top. Base layer, that's the base layer. That'll wick away moisture. You won't feel all clammy and cold if and when you do sweat. The other thing to consider is some type of a mid layer, and that's your insulating layer. Usually some type of a pile fleece would work well. Here I have the long johns underneath. The mid layer would be the fleece pants, and then the outer layer is the rain pants, which is a kind of a Gore-Tex type material. It's you want something that'll cut the wind. That's important. Today it's not very windy, which is really nice. So wind could really suck the life out of you. Having a waterproof, breathable outer shell or layer not only protects you from the wind, keeps you dry from the rain, and also helps the fabric, or helps you breathe basically, because if you feel clammy underneath, you're going to sweat, and sweat generally translates into cold, and you don't want to be cold and wet. So that's it. The hat is very good to have. I have a fleece cap, and I have my hood over that, which is good. Since 90% of your heat is lost through your head, you definitely want to cover your head up. In terms of gloves, mittens are going to be definitely a lot warmer than gloves. Just because of the fact that the mittens keep your fingers together and keep you warm. You can put your thumb inside the forefinger area to keep you warm. Disadvantage of mittens, obviously, you aren't able to manipulate your dexterity suffers because you don't have all the individually moving fingers. I have gloves on today, which is alright. For photography, gloves are good. The other thing I like about, if you want to be shooting, is if you don't want to take your glove off, I recommend some type of an inner layer, or like a liner glove that goes inside. I'm going to show you here. So we have the glove. Hope I don't drop it into the water. And then I have a liner glove. And that helps you manipulate the camera. Controls better without freezing your hand. It's good for that. Yes, as you can see, it is only 1 degree out here. So when you're shooting in cold weather, the main thing you want to worry about is your battery life. And what happens is the cold just zaps the life out of your batteries quicker than anything else. So what I recommend is carry a spare battery inside your pocket, inside your coat pocket closest to your body, to kind of keep it warm. Because when you're out there, your battery is going to be probably a quarter of what you normally get. In sub-zero temperatures, your camera's going to get extremely cold. And condensation can be a problem when you re-enter the warm atmosphere, like going into your house or whatever. And to combat condensation, what I would recommend is bring a plastic bag with you and put your camera inside the plastic bag while you're outside before going indoors. And what that'll do is allow the condensation to form on the outside of your camera rather than right on the camera itself. It'll condensate on the bag. Preferably seal the bag, push all the air out of it as you can. What I like to use is those extra large Ziploc bags, those Something like 1 gallon, 2 gallon bags. You know, like when you have like a cold can of Coke or whatever, right, on a hot summer day. Of course the can's sealed and waterproof, but there's, you know, you get the water, or, you know, the moisture building, you know, the can is sweating basically. That's why, because of the air temperature. The can is colder than the ambient temperature, which is warmer, and you have condensation forming. So yeah, even weather sealed cameras aren't immune to the condensation factor. If you get water or condensation inside your camera, you know, especially if it condensates on you know, internal electronics, that's not a good thing. It can cause long-term corrosion. You may not, I mean, you know, you might think, oh yeah, you know, I'm shooting outside, I went inside, it's fine. Well, yeah, 1 or 2 days after you may not, but, you know, maybe a couple of months or even years down the road, you may find, you know, corrosive circuitry that'll cause your camera to fail. So do yourself a favor, and when you're shooting outside, and when you're done, put it in a plastic bag, seal it, preferably a Ziploc bag, push all the air out of it, and put that bag inside your camera bag, and then bring your camera inside and leave your camera bag sealed in a cooler part of your house, if you can. You know, you want to make the transition as smooth as possible. The other thing I wanted to mention about cold weather shooting is when you're shooting outside, try not to breathe on your camera. Meaning, you know, when you're taking a picture, kind of hold your breath, because the warm air from your breath will condensate on the surface of the camera.